Coming up in this episode of the 19th hole, we take a look back at a truly unique game of golf. We sit down with the owner of Ratho Farms and talk about the history of this really amazing course. And we take a look at a really unique how the F do you get out of this episode. Welcome to the 19th hole. We're coming at you today from right in front of the 18th green of the Ratho Farms Links golf course.
Yep.
The oldest golf course in the entire country.
Yep. And probably one of the, I'm going to say, most weirdest, eclectic, challenging. It's unreal. It is
In a good way.
Yeah, you've got to come out and see this course. Like, if you live in Tassie, you've got to come and play it. And if you want to have a golf trip, if you're in Melbourne or any other state and having a golf trip to Tassie, this has to be number one on your list. You can stay here. It's out on a farm. They have accommodation here. They have accommodation in town.
Maybe go to Barnbougle and then head down south.
Either way, you've got to play this. This has to be on your one of the holes that you have to play.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about this before. It feels like the court, like some one of our viewers reached out to us and told us to come down and check it out. And thank you very much. I can't remember your name, but thank you very much for pointing us out, because we hadn't planned to come here. We hadn't even heard of this course, and we are so glad that we did. And I feel like we've just caught this place just before it's about to go boom in terms of popularity.
Yep.
It's already popular in terms of people coming here and experiencing the rich history and the culture of the place, and like it's very old, and so you can stay on premise. And I'll overlay some of the stuff that some of the rooms here in the accommodation, but it's really beautiful to look at, really beautiful place to stay. And if you really want to challenge your golf game and you don't mind losing a few golf balls, give it a go.
Yeah. No, it's unreal. The good thing is, like, the people that are running it, it's been in their family since like 1912 or something.
1920. I think there's an interview coming up, and you'll see Greg telling us about his history, so you'll see it there.
And like, they've had it. Yeah, and it's I can't rate this place highly enough. Like, to come over here and I know everyone mocks out Tassie and a few bad ways and good ways, and it's always cold. Like, the weather is fantastic. Yes, it's windy, but
it's warm.
I'm absolutely buggered. Like, we left this morning. We started at about 7 o'clock this morning. We got out here pretty early, and we got the drone up and got some awesome footage of the drone and the course and all that. So it looks great at the first thing in the morning. And when we first teed off, it was cold. And then we got to the newer holes out the back there, and it just heated up, and it cooked me. Like, I couldn't. If we didn't stop and interview Greg and then have a feed before we played the last 4 holes, I reckon I might be taking the trip to Hobart Hospital right now.
Well, I was pretty comfy because I was sitting in that nice little van driving around the course.
That was an awesome. If anyone wants to know, it was an actual car. It was a DeLuca 4-wheel drive.
Mitsubishi, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mitsubishi DeLuca or whatever however they pronounce it. And that was the car. And every now and then I'd jump on the back of it, but Trevor was scaring me because he figured it's not an actual golf cart. So, you get a golf cart and you just floor it, and he was trying to do it in the car. It was such a strange thing to be driving around a golf course in a car. Yep.
It's just weird. And the way that this course is laid out, sometimes you've got to kind of work out where the next hole is. And so you're sort of driving around, sort of trying to work out, like, local knowledge here is paramount.
Yeah.
And we got told a few times about where to go, but I mean, you sometimes can't take it all in when you're listening.
And there's also a map on the back of the car, which we probably could have looked at more often. And you also get a playbook.
Yeah.
And so it tells you how far, to lay up from, and that actually came in real handy. Well, I think it came in handy on the last 4 holes, but Greg said to us, you make sure you're using the last 4 holes, the creek runs through there, and have some fun. And I lost 3 balls in 4 holes, so I didn't go too well.
So earlier this morning we were out at the 4th hole, which is the signature hole this week.
Yep.
What a daunting hole is.
That's a challenge. It's a long hole. I hit a cracking 5-iron, and it just went a little bit right, and I got very lucky. I was sort of, because I'd seen the way the green's situated, I knew if I went to the right-hand side, I was going to be okay.
Yep.
I didn't want to go that far right, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to see it in a second, but there was water all down the right. It's a super hard hole, so check it out now. Welcome to the signature hole. This is the 4th hole at Ratho Farms. This is an intimidating tee shot. I'll show you a drone over the top, but 170 odd metre par 3. You got water down the right, that beautiful green in the distance, and death everywhere you go. I'm going to hit my 4-iron with not a shred of confidence. Got a bit left. Bit left and a bit short, but it's very, very safe. So I landed myself short and a little bit left. I am super happy with that because it's absolute death out to the right. These greens are pretty receptive, so I've got to fly as far as I can. So I left myself with about 3 metres for par. It's these greens are, because it's a bit wet this morning, they're quite slow. But you know, as soon as I hit it hard, it'll go rocketing past the hole. She's yeah, that's how you do a lap of honour. That is a fantastic, fantastic signature hole here at Ratho Farms. It's so beautiful to look at, and it is one of the most unique courses I've ever played. It's wonderful. Get out here and check it out. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. And that was the signature hole, number 4. I was so happy to get away with part of that. That was very lucky.
I was lucky to find my ball. I mean, we hunted for probably 5 minutes before. Josh goes, "Oh no, it's up here." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I reckon we spent a good half an hour today looking for balls in total.
Oh, easily, and most of the time mine.
Well, I was all over the place too. But
my drives are good today, though.
Yeah, she did. My drives are terrible.
Bombs today.
But that fourth hole, I mean, it's so beautiful to look at too. You've got the road just behind you, and you've got the creek, well, the river creek, whichever one you call it, running down the right there. It's a long hole too. It's a narrow ending. Like, it's just, everything about it is difficult. Yep. And that's why I was so lucky. I didn't care that I landed short. I was just lucky that we went at the hole. Yep. But that could destroy your round. Oh,
easily. That creek, I mean, I'm going to go with the line down there in a minute.
Yeah.
Apparently it's full of some, Greg showed me a photo of someone caught a 9 kilo trout in this creek, and well, you've seen it. It's not a very wide looking creek, so a 9 kilo trout. Hello. I would love to catch one of them right now. But
nice.
Anyway, but no, look, that hole was challenging, but at the same time, like, if you got it, you were on. Like, the green was fairly flat.
Yep.
When we played too, the first probably 10 holes, it was really dewy on the greens.
Yeah,
and then it dried really quick. So you'd between 10 and 12, it dried out.
Yep.
And it went from really dewy to literally no moisture at all, and everything firming up. And by the time we finished 18 here, everything was rock hard.
Yeah. So after the 14th hole, we had to give the car back.
Yeah.
Because you can't drive on the last 4. But in between the 14th and the 15th, we sat down with Greg, the owner of the course and the Farmstead, and we had a chat about the history of the farm. Check it out. So we're here with Greg Ramsey, the owner of the Ratho Golf Farm. Is it Farms?
Ratho Farm Highlands Resort. There you
Highlands Resort.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Tell us the history of the course.
Oh, well, so the Reed family came out in 1822. They were from Edinburgh. Well, actually, originally Alexander Reed was from the village of Ratho, which is just west of Edinburgh. But he became a merchant in Leith, which is the port town of Edinburgh, and that's where the very first laws of the game of golf were formalised, and also the first 4 golfing societies were all formed playing on that golfing ground, not long before Alexander Reed, emigrated out to Van Diemen's Land. So he brought his family and 2 little children. They settled with 26 other Scottish families in this valley.
Yep.
And between 1822 and sort of the 1850s, there's no record of golf, and then there's a reference in the 1890s saying that golf was played back in the 1850s here at Bothwell, and that's what gives it its historical reference.
Yep.
A lot of historians, surmise that maybe Alexander Reed brought clubs out when he first emigrated in 1822, but there's actually no evidence of that. So the first written records is 1850. So that's what makes Ratho the oldest course in Australia and the oldest golf course oldest known continuous golfing ground outside Scotland. Because there's actually older golf courses in North America and in Royal Calcutta in India, but none of those same land is still being used for golf.
Yeah, okay. So how many people do you get through here normally?
So we've restored the convict cottages, the farm barns, and all the draft horse stables into accommodation. So we can sleep. Yeah, we can sleep 26 suites, so we can sleep over 50 people. And the golf course has really been picking up in the last 18 months, 2 years, since we managed to get enough condition on it, and it's only getting better, you know, every season. And the word's getting around that it's just sort of really fun, quirky, eclectic set of golf holes here.
Well, it's certainly that.
Yeah, that actually ask you to hit some really interesting shots, and there's nothing about it that is like anything else, and that's what people often are looking for, just something different.
Yeah, we're only 3/4 of the way through our round, but we've played the really strange holes over here.
Yeah.
And there's so many shots where you just go, I don't actually know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I really like the uniqueness of it. I did see over here there was a RV park. Are people allowed to stay here with RVs?
Yeah. So if people want to camp on the course or here in the around the homestead, then basically as long as they buy a green fee and buy dinner and breakfast, then they're happy to stay. You know, but no, you can't just park here without buying a golfing green fee.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you find people parking in some dangerous spots? Because I was looking at this green here.
Yeah.
There's a van over there, and I'm thinking,
No,
I wouldn't trust my swing with that.
No, we manage where they park. There's a beautiful bend in the river on the right of the 5th fairway. Did you guys go over to the back tee on 5?
Yeah.
So just if you hit a hard slice right, like sadly I saw you boys do over here on 12, then you'd end.
We cut that out. We cut all that out.
So there's a great bend nook in the river where we get people to camp as well down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are your plans for the course going forward?
So, I mean, as the condition picks up, we've got a design competition on what's currently the 11th, 12th, 13th holes, because they weren't original holes. And we feel that a hole like 12, you know, where they all used to be played in reverse, those golf holes, up until about 3 years ago we spun them around, but they were actually only added to the golf course in the 1980s. So we're interested that we can actually, because they're not original, we don't mind tinkering with them a bit. The restored 6 and the old 6 out north of the shearing shed, we want to keep them, you know, real legacy holes of how that early game of golf was played. But I think just as the course improves its condition, as we do maybe a little bit more with with 11, 12, 13, and I think they can be really elevated to be cracking holes, and I think they're actually pretty fun at the moment. You know, a drivable 4, a reachable 5, and a downhill par 3, you know, with that great backdrop. And really we want to start getting into some more marquee events. Like, I love seeing the pros. We held the Tassie Pro-Am circuit here 3 years in a row, and it was just great seeing, you know, guys going out and they were always surprised that, like, they had plenty of birdies but plenty of bogeys, and sort of 4 or 5 under would always win it, when they looked at the card and probably thought, we're going to tear this up and shoot 8 or 9 under every time.
What do the pros think of the course when they can't walk around?
Oh, look, I'm not sure all of them love the quirk and the blind shots, and you know, but I don't, you know, you put golf out to be fun. You're not there to please everyone. You want to be memorable and a talking point rather than just be more of the same. So
yeah, well, definitely memorable.
Yeah, we play a lot of golf, as you imagine.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to find something that's just different to the norm, and it's certainly that.
Yeah.
It's been really enjoyable so far.
I think the thing is, when you go around that second time and you know where you're going, then instead of it being like, oh heck, I just don't know where I'm going, you start going, oh, I remember these are the shots I got to hit here, or this is a safe play, or this is where I can really have a crack at it. And I mean, we have the Highland Championships here, which is the first selection event for the Tasmanian state team. And all those boys, like, the average handicap's like plus 0.8 or something, because we have all the low markers.
Yep.
And all those guys just love coming back year after year, because again, they're amazed. Like a +5 golfer who plays college golf in America, he's won it the last 2 years, and both years he's only won it with 3 under. So
right.
You know, it's like it takes some unlocking. So
we're not as bad as we thought.
No. I saw you boys hit it. You're absolute flushes.
Yeah, but it doesn't go where you aim though.
No, well, let's go.
I've hit a couple. I mean, the 10th I drove the 10th. Not the 10th, the 9th.
9th. Yeah, you would have too with that length. Bit of run.
I drove that one. So that was handy. A couple of other ones we've gotten close to, haven't we?
Yeah.
But then
there's a bit of luck involved with some.
You would have knocked it over 6, wouldn't you? Over the back of 6, short par 4.
No, I hybrid that one.
Yeah, we hit a 3 as well.
I looked at that and went, yeah, no, driver's going too far.
Yeah, yeah. If you fade in like a 3 wood and you can get it to check a bit, it's otherwise it's very hard to hold that
I
green.
ended up pin high with my 3 hybrid.
Oh really? Wow. Oh, you did get it. Yeah.
I noticed there's some animals over there.
Yeah.
Is this a working farm? Like,
Yeah. So my brother, we're on about 8,000 acres here, and my brother still, thankfully, you know, he wanted to play with the sheep, and I get to, you know, drink red wine with the guests and play golf. So that's
Perfect.
good. Yeah.
What sort of animals you got here?
So historically, when I was growing up as a boy here, it was always, you know, superfine merino, a small herd of cattle, and some very minor cropping of grains. But now it's really intensive irrigation cropping. You know, like Tassie grows 70% of the world's legal opium,
Right.
and so we're a pretty big opium grower. Now potatoes, now fat lambs, you know, sheep for meat rather than sheep for wool. So much more intensive. And who knows, down the track there might be dairy in the valley. You just never know.
Nice. It's fantastic. We've had an awesome time. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, mate, no, enjoy it.
The
And
accommodation too, drop that in.
The accommodation we're staying at. Do you want to talk about here?
yeah, the
okay.
Bothwell Hotel where you guys are staying. Yeah, no, enjoy that. That was built in 1836 as a brewery, so it's older than Melbourne. And then the brewery got expanded to be a tavern and an inn and a guest house. And then we just bought that late last year because we get a lot of weekends here where we're booked out with weddings, so we can't take the golf groups. So we've really bought that as an overflow to be able to accommodate more golf groups here over the weekend.
It's really nice.
Great. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Let's go around and have a look at some of the accommodation here.
Yeah, great. Let's do it.
Yep.
So the unwritten law of the land's always been if you shear for more than a week, then you have to accommodate your shearing teams on site, on the farm. So he turned this empty draft horse stables into a bunkhouse and a cookhouse for the shearing teams.
All right.
So yeah, there's 4 ensuite rooms here downstairs. That's a little sitting room. And then this is the old...
Sure there's no in there.
There is. That's got people in it, so I won't go in there. But that was the farrier's workshop where they used to shoe the horses.
Yep.
And then these ones, they might still be in. Rock. Yeah, no, they're all being used in here. We'll check out the river. So there's 4 ensuite rooms down here. This is the old wool shed. So a big 3-storey shearing shed, and where they carted all the wool, graded all the wool. A milking yard at the end there. We now use that as a beer garden for a lot of the weddings.
Oh, nice.
This was the blacksmith's workshop where they made all sort of the shovel heads, the horseshoes, the nails, anything they could work with iron. And then this was the mounting yard. When I was a boy, this was always called the mounting yard, but now my mother quite rightly said you can't put paying guests in a room called the mounting yard because it's where the stallion would be tethered before going to work on the mares.
Yep.
So the most famous stallion that ever came here to stud was the Assyrian who won the Melbourne Cup in 1882, sorry. And what we've tried to do with all the rooms is keep all the original features, like all the convict cut timbers, the convict laid stone and brickwork. We try and keep everything original, and anything new we've tried to keep really sort of quiet and really just let the history be the main feature.
You would not think this was in here from the outside, would you?
No.
It just looks.
It's got
like
a nice big bath.
Go in there, just have a look at it. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, very, very popular, the folding room. So we've got 16 of these 1-room studios like this, and 6 2-room apartments.
Yep.
So,
come on, Yoshi.
knock, room service. So that's being used as well, but this is a 2-roomer, so a big hallway.
Yeah, just done this thing.
Yeah, big back bedroom and all the river stone laid by the convicts to form that wall.
Awesome doors.
And then these were the actual convict cottages. So this was the bakery where the convicts would all actually eat their dinner and come together for their meals. Again, that's being used, so I won't open that up. And this is where we do a lot of weddings, a lot of sort of functions, golf events and so on down here. And again, these were, I believe these are all being used. So, but these have all got a beautiful view over the river.
Yeah, it's
the
awesome.
river when it's up can be right up to these steps and right across to those silos there.
Really?
In flood, but that's sort of every 5 years. So, yeah.
Is that where the weddings go there, right on the edge of the water?
I'll show you this room because this one, oh no, that's got people in it too. Yeah, yeah. The weddings often they'll be either down with the river as a backdrop, sometimes they have the cottages as a backdrop, sometimes up on the balcony of the homestead. All sort of people just choose and design their own setup.
Well, it's a beautiful spot to get married, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's lovely. The mighty Clyde River, a very, very loved trout fishing river. So
Well, Damien will enjoy that. He likes fishing. He loves his fishing.
hopefully he gets a monster for you to eat.
How long has it taken you to do all this?
So we opened the first rooms 6 years ago.
Yep.
And you know, we're just sort of slowly working our way, restoring all the different parts of it. But you know what old buildings are like, they're never ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Find things you didn't want to find.
that's it.
This is fantastic.
I'll show you one of these upstairs. We have a little bar up here. We do house drinks every night up at the homestead.
Yep.
Except in autumn. So about this time of year, we'll often, depending on how many people are in house, we'll bring the house drinks up to here, because when all the trees colours have turned to orange and maroons and beautiful colours all through the valley, and we just sit up here and have our house drinks up here and do the readings.
When's that, sorry?
So it's just for dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I better book you guys in for dinner tonight. Knock, knock, knock. Room service. So yeah, this is another one of the 2 roomers. Very interesting construction style. So the only way the roof was connected to the wall was through these hand-cut timber pins.
Wow.
So they've got the convicts to cut these timbers. The rafter runs down, hits a timber plate on the top of the brickwork there, and then there's a hand-cut pin on either side, and then they're connected the same way along the top. So again, this is a nice big bathroom. This back bedroom. And this was the old granary, where they'd keep all the grain for their stock.
Yep.
And horses and cattle, and then next door was the hay loft where all the hay was kept for their cattle. So.
Wouldn't you love to bring someone back from that time and show them what it looks like now?
Oh yeah,
They'd
they'd
be
die.
shocked.
Well, my grandpa actually boarded this off, and it hadn't been, before we restored this, it hadn't been used for anything since 1938.
Did you find anything interesting in here?
Oh, there's some really nice old apparatus and sort of farm implements,
Yep.
but no, nothing. There's no sort
Nothing
of
exciting.
nothing particularly dazzling. Yeah.
No gold or treasure.
No, sadly.
So that was Greg, the owner of the course.
Yep.
While we talk, I just want to, over the top, I'll show you the clubhouse and the pro shop. I've taken some video of that, so I'll show it over the top of this. But
Pro shop's awesome. It's the coolest little pro shop.
But what I loved about that, I mean, you can feel, I don't know if you can feel it at home, but I felt it sitting next to him, that he has such a passion for this place, and he obviously is his family's history here, but he loves it, and he wants to see it grow. That's why I was saying, I feel like this is such a start of something so brilliant.
Yep.
Because he's just going to make it better. And I
when he
love
was telling us the plans they've got for the car cart, like they're going to put a mini bar in there. It's going to hold 4 people quite easily. They're going to have a mini bar. They're going to have a poker table. They're going to have a little so you've got the door on one side and you can park it next to the wind if it's raining, and you can still sit there and not have to worry about it. You can sit in the back and around a table if it's raining. You just let people who want to go through and just keep playing, and he's the passion, like you said, in his voice, and just everything was just it was awesome. I loved it.
What's even better about this is they realised soon that they've got stay and play on site. So there's probably, I think I saw about 5 to 10 different places you can stay down the road here. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
But the place was full, so when we came here, so they'd actually bought the bed and breakfast in Bothwell up the road here. And I'll overlay some footage of our rooms last night, but they put us up there, and it's just awesome that they've got that overflow, so that if they haven't got enough here, you can just wander down 2 minutes down the road.
Yeah, like you were saying, they realised that they were getting too much in, especially when they have weddings, and that he was saying. So.
And what did he say? It was 1836 building was built.
Yeah, and it used to be a pub.
Yeah, no, a morgue, did he say?
No, at one stage it was.
Yeah.
But then it was, I thought he said a pub, or a brewery.
Yeah. Well, me and Josh were worried about ghosts being that old.
Yeah, and I said that, and he goes, "Yeah, no, there's some out there." And he's like, "Oh," and the look on their 2 faces were great. It's like, I sleep too light, so and I think that ghosts would sense it, so they wouldn't come into my room.
Well, apparently they're Scottish too, and they're friendly. They're quite shy, so
yeah.
I had a great night's sleep, and no boogeyman jumped out at me. So it's a really nice place, though. Really good bed and breakfast, and if you're going to come down here, you can either stay on the course or you can stay there. It's well worth it.
But even here, like we're coming here for tea tonight. We're staying in town again because we're only 40 minutes from our next course.
I may actually show some footage of that too later on.
And we're staying tonight. We're having a feed here, and they do readings from the journals of like the history of the old people, like from back in the 18th century, 19th century, and
Yep.
1830s and 40s and all that, and even his great grandfathers, and they do readings from those, and they bring the history back to life, and
Yep.
like that's unreal. I'm gonna sit down tonight and have a beer and listen to that.
Yeah,
I reckon it's
and
gonna be
feed.
brilliant.
What'd you order, the steak?
I ordered the steak, so
Yeah, I've got the pork, so that'll be nice.
Yep.
Now, at the end of this round, there was a How the F episode, and it's kind of a funny one because you have to play this hole, and so you don't kind of have a choice well, you can play it different ways, but you kind of don't have a choice.
Don't do it the way I did it.
Well, I didn't work either, so, but have a look now. So welcome to another How the episode. This is a bit of a strange one. What we've got is about 186 metres into the green here at Ratho Farms on the 18th hole, but that green has a tree right in the middle of the green. So I was speaking to Pete, the guy who works here before, the manager. He said, if you just try and slam your ball into that tree, it'll just drop down next to the hole, you have a putt for eagle. It sounds good in theory. Let's see if I can do it. Strong left to right wind. And the wind has done nothing. There's a lady over there in a caravan. I think she's dead. Oh, it's landed just in front of the green. That is, it's so unique because you have little choice as to what you're going to do. It is a par 5, so I could have laid up in the corner there and then hit over, but that's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. So that's a really unique finishing hole, and I was talking to Pete, the manager, beforehand, and he's like, yeah, just play your second shot into the tree, it'll drop down, you got a putt for eagle. I'm like, sounds easy in theory.
Yeah.
And when I hit that, tugged it left, I was genuinely worried for the lady who was staying down here in a RV. I thought I'd gone left enough to hit her on the roof, but luckily for me, hit the tree and dropped down just in front of it.
Yeah, close enough for the green. I attempted it, I just pushed mine to the right with the wind.
Yep.
And then so I had to come over the top of the little hedge.
Yeah.
This is one of the things, like, you go to any course, anywhere you want to play, and you look at it and you go, yep, okay, cool, there's a tee, there's a green, and you can see it.
Yeah.
And look, 80% of this course is like that. And then there's ones like
80?
75, 60, 70%. Then like this 18th here, you tee off and it literally goes like that, and you can see the green on the on the left, but the fairway comes out to the right, and there's a massive hedge that you have to hit over.
Yeah, the further right, the less you
so the
see
further up you go, you got to, and the 8th hole, you've got to stand right in the centre of the green, the tee to the right hand side of centre, to actually see where the green is.
Yeah.
All you can see is a hedge.
But when you arrive here, you walk up thinking, oh, it must be the practice green.
Yeah.
Not really, because there's a hedge behind it, there's a tree there, and you're like, oh, that's actually the 18th.
Yeah, that's actually
green.
the 18th. The first, you hit, it looks like a massive hole from the tee, from the back tees. And they do have a front tee that's only like 120 metres. But we teed off from the 160 metres, and you'll probably see a few shots of that because I topped it twice. There's knowing someone's going to put it online.
I remember that.
But like, you're hitting across a paddock with cows in it.
Yeah.
And and the green, and all you can see is like this much of the flag. It was unreal, and luckily we spoke to Pete, the manager, and he said, yeah, and make sure you stay right here, and you got to do this here. So we had a fair idea. If you had no idea where you were going, it was you're lost, just absolutely lost.
I would love to know in the comments below if anyone else knows of a green that has a tree in the middle of it.
Well, apparently it's the only one in the southern hemisphere.
Well, it's definitely unique, and you don't want to go on the wrong side of it. But I can't imagine actually how you would. But
it's well, you wouldn't want to, would you? Like, oh no, there's green out here. If you landed this side, just pretend to put it in one of the practice holes, and that could be the. So there's 3 holes in that green.
Is there?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
So I should have gone for the other one because I was closer to it instead of the big one.
We're going off now for a well-earned break. We've got another course coming up tomorrow down at New Norfolk. Yep. Which you guys will start seeing next week. I can't wait for dinner tonight, and I'm really interested to learn the history of Bothwell and Ratho Farms, and it's a well-earned rest because I'm buggered.
Yeah, I might actually have a snooze for a bit.
The way that you're staring down at the ground tells me that you're exhausted.
And like I said, like, it was cold this morning, and I know Like, I'm not even 7 months from the heart operation, so I know I should have taken water on the course, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah, and I thought, we're coming up. The 7th hole, I started getting thirsty. I thought, we're getting near the 9th. Not realising the 9th actually went away from the area where we were.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 14 when we got back here.
Yeah.
And by then, the sun had come out, and it just cooked me, and I'm just very dehydrated right now. So, all right, well, we'll be good. We'll be back tomorrow.
Hopefully, if I have taken some footage of tonight, I will overlay it during this video, so you probably already have seen it.
So that comment was probably mute.
Anyway, mood different. But anyway, we've had a wonderful time. We're so grateful. Thank you to Pete, Joe, and Greg. Everyone's been super nice to us. Yep. They gave us a nice lunch there. We're having dinner tonight. They put us up at the hotel. Like even Joshy got to stay there too. But we've loved every minute of it, and we're so grateful.
We tried to make Joshy sleep in the car, but they said no, he can sleep inside too. So
he can pitch a tent at the back here somewhere, can't he?
Well, there's no ghost, Eddie.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.